hosted by former ESPN employee, Dan LeBatard. And I got some notes from people. Here's a couple of the examples that I got. This used to be a top-notch sports show. Dan LeBatard definitely caught Howard Stern syndrome. Show has been unlistenable since at least 2022. This is what John sent in to me. He said, I think you should do the Dan LeBatard Show. I know it's a radio show, but it's ESPN's #1 podcast to the point where ESPN gave him his own podcast network, LeBatard and Friends. That's not true. He left ESPN in 2021. It's a hacky, boring sports show that is also very PC. Thanks. Keep up the good work. Thank you, John. Thanks for the suggestion. And I think when I'm listening to the show, and Andy, you pulled some clips of this as well, I don't think you're a sports talk show guy.
I'm not, but fortunately, there's not a ton of it going on in the episode I listened to.
I know, there isn't a ton of sports talk anyway, so I figured it'd be fine for us. I used to be big into sports talk, and I realized like why Barstool became so popular so quickly when I listened to shows like this, because for whatever reason, all these shows, especially ESPN, just started getting really PC and lame, and like, this is a show that's not for men. Like, men like sports. This is a show for children and pussies. It's bizarre, the shit they talk about on the show. It even starts off with this super corny song and this bit they have. This is yesterday's episode of the Dan LeBatard Show. I mean, what would Michael Rappaport say about this?
Yeah, I obviously pulled this too because I didn't know if they featured it on every episode. I guess once football kicked off, they can't help but play this. And all I can say is it looks like they're having fun.
Holy shit.
But Hank III perfected this, right? Why do we need a doddering old man doing a worse version?
This dude is fucking corny. Thank you. We were trying to shoehorn that in. I remember Vinny came over to watch football with us, and he was appalled that we would sing and have fun.
Yeah.
I think this is what he was seeing in his mind.
It's because we were singing about the Bills.
Yeah.
So he didn't
it does kind of look like you on the left there.
And by the way, I cut it off there. This goes on uncomfortably long.
Oh, yeah.
And football, we're at the end of September. Football's been back for over a month, and we're singing about football is back. Like, yeah, we're over that now. Like, hockey season's starting. You know, we're way beyond that. I don't understand. And these guys, if you're not watching, this old man is lip syncing the song, and there's like choreography going on in the background. People are like holding up footballs and dancing around with them. There's a guy playing air guitar.
Poorly lip syncing it, by the way. Very obviously he's fucking it up. And yeah, this is just goofiness. I think, like I said, they just wanted to do something fun, and this is for them because it's not interesting to anyone else, I don't think.
You know what? Actually, let's pull this up right now because I want to. Dan LeBatard is a guy that I'm very aware of. I remember when he was on ESPN Radio. I remember he had a TV show on ESPN. I had a lot of friends who were fans. I would watch it from time to time. I thought it was fine. And now that he's out on his own, so he's got 238,000 subscribers on his LeBatard and Friends Network YouTube channel. And you look at these videos, and so these are the videos that he puts out aside from The Daily Show. And you can see the most recent one's got 405 views. Then he's got one with 10,000, 1.8 thousand, 1,200, 3,800, 1,200, 2,200, 5,100. These are not good numbers for a channel with 238,000 subscribers. And even when you go to the live shows, so this is what they're doing every morning, they're averaging like 25,000, sometimes 30,000 views per show, which is great. I don't know that you can have a huge staff of people like they do.
There's so many fucking
There's so many people on the
show.
They have the huge set and everything. It doesn't seem, I mean, they have sponsorships, they have DraftKings and stuff, so that's probably helping. But I just don't understand how you keep this afloat with such a small audience, and it's very localized.
I could think of a couple of guys that you could lose.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of fucking weirdos that don't do anything on the show and are not funny or interesting. But it's also extremely localized. They're out of Miami, and they talk Miami sports primarily.
This seems like it's the bar stool to Boston for Miami, is what they want it to be.
No, it's for girls. Barstool's for men.
Yeah.
It's very different. Like, I get what you're saying as far as regionality is concerned, but yeah.
Well, all they care about is Florida-centric sports. So, I mean, if you're going to talk about weirdos that you could lose that are all in on Marlins baseball, my clip 2, this is Jeremy, who insists on bringing his autistic whiteboard with all of the mental gymnastics it's going to take to get the Marlins into the playoffs. And it is maddening. This is a bit of a saga, so stick with me here. But let's hear
Set
Jeremy.
up the fucking saga. Can I play the clip?
Jeremy, keep us up to date on I thought yesterday would be catastrophic. I thought losing 11-1 to the Phillies would eliminate them, but they are still somehow in it. Explain to me how that's so.
That's right, Dan. So the Marlins are still in it based off all these permutations. The thing that you need to know first and foremost is the Marlins are going to need to go 4-0 to make the postseason. The moment they lose a game, whether that's tonight against the Phillies or any game against the Mets, if the Mets win today, the only thing the Marlins can do is knock the Mets out because Arizona or Cincinnati could ultimately jump them.
So I just wanted, for people who are listening to this, this whiteboard is completely full, and he must have 24 lines of different scenarios between different teams getting different wins and losses, and all of it's moot. They're going to lose one of these games.
Yeah.
None of this means anything.
But if the Mets lose tonight and the Marlins sweep them, the Marlins would make the postseason over the Mets. That is factually correct because of
nothing else has to happen. If the Mets lose tonight and we sweep the Mets, we're in the playoffs?
No, you need...
Now it's
all.
No.
Guys, this is not that complicated.
Why would I have this giant whiteboard if that's all we needed to have happen, you idiots?
How can I make it any more clear?
I'll see myself out.
And Dan recognizes that Jeremy put so much hard work into this whiteboard. All right, let's hear him out, guys.
Okay.
That's where you get into the tiebreaker scenarios. And as you look through it...
All right, I think we're done with this.
So he's going to go to 14 tiebreakers.
We didn't get to the 16 tiebreaker.
What about the 16 tie? Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead. Keep going.
All it is to say...
The 16 tiebreaker, I didn't get to finish writing it. Ultimately, that would go to the Marlins as well. They would have the best head-to-head record against the other 5 teams combined. And when you look at it, the 3 team tiebreakers, the Marlins would clinch all of them. The 4 team tiebreakers, the Marlins would clinch every single one of them unless it was the Marlins, the Mets, the Diamondbacks, and the Reds.
Jesus Christ. That's how I felt when Moody was doing his presentation on this little piggy. And everyone's ragging on him like, you put a lot of work into this, guys. Let's hear about this flaggerization of the Dabbleverse. Come on.
The last clip of this, they finally move on to some actual sports talk where they're talking about maybe like the best catcher in Florida history or something like that. And you'd think they'd move on, but
I think Jeremy does have an update on my traditional sports radio topic. We kick it out to Jeremy.
Well, ultimately, look, the peak of Cal Raleigh in doing this as a catcher behind the plate, the craziest part about getting to potentially 60 home runs is just the wear and tear that comes with it. Because to be able to produce that type of power, on the flip side, Buster Posey showing up every day and hitting about 330 as he was such a tremendous defensive catcher in the middle of an order that didn't have quite as much protection. The peak of their powers, it's really hard to argue one way or another. But I do want to get back to something that Chris was questioning, because all that needs to happen is that the Diamondbacks and the...
Brother, you're doing this wrong. Just best FSU catcher of all time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike Ryan Ruiz, for getting it back on track on that. Jesus.
Jeremy is why I hate sports talk radio, by the way.
Yeah, I get that. It's he's making it unfun.
Yeah.
Hey, remember all that shit you hated in school? Let's turn sports into that. No, please not. I want to have a little package for you now, Andy, talking about how wild our buddy Dan LeBatard is. I mean, this guy is just off the rails.
Before I get to Tua and Cam, Roy, who was our Hampton Farms winner, the nuttiest fan of the week? I'm embarrassed by a couple of things here. I don't know if this is happening to you guys. I'm legitimately embarrassed by this. I have peanut shells all over the floor of my car. Because I have been...
in the car, Dan?
Yeah.
That's on you. That's a wild move.
I know.
Yeah, stoplight just like...
That is opulence. How often do you get your car washed? That is a man that gets it washed daily.
Not daily, but I have. You can go out there. You can take a camera out there, and you will see in the passenger seat that there is that there are. You will see that there are some peanut shells. I've cleaned it up. I actually had to get up.
This is the richest shit you've ever done.
Listen. Somebody has video or a photograph of me at a stoplight getting out of the car and brushing the skins and the shells off.
Getting out of the car, like standing up and getting out of the car at a red light.
Yeah, speaking of guys you can get rid of on the show. So these two chuckle fucks are sitting over here. I'll mute this, but just look at their reaction to him saying he got out and brushed the peanut shells off of his shirt. Look at these two guys. Wow, what? The one guy looks at the other guy like, well, is this real? Is this actually happening right now? What? This happened?
I watched white t-shirt guy pretend he was eating peanuts while he's telling his story. What is this, good pud? Fuck you, dude.
This sucks so bad. So that is his crazy story about how there's possibly peanut shells on the floor of his car.
You're right. This is for chicks.
Right, because these are... So then it gets into he loves to put polls up. He's constantly very Zumakian putting polls up for the listeners to go vote on.
And, I want to put a couple of things on the poll here at LeBatard Show. This is something I literally hadn't thought of since childhood. Do you feel genuine delight when your peanut-shelled peanut has 3 peanuts in it and you can tell from outside?
Oh, that's one of the great feelings. It's like that and finding a 20 in your pocket.
And do you feel ripped off if you get a peanut that's hard to crack that only has 1 peanut in it? I legitimately, what I'm doing there, because I have not eaten peanuts this way since the first time I was in Yankee Stadium, which is one of my most magical childhood memories.
Carl's mad. His time is being wasted. He's sitting here with his arms folded, mad that we're sitting through this conversation.
I know. I can't believe this guy's too soft for ESPN. I think ESPN's just like, Jesus Christ, we get a little bit of edge to this. Is he literally setting up the topic of, do you like having a 3-chambered peanut?
Well, the topic was, do you get delight out of knowing that it's 3 from the outside? He goes deep with this shit.
I mean, Jocktober's coming up, and we have to listen to some fucking nonsense. Let's go to the phones. What do you guys think about candy corn? I mean, this is worse than that somehow. We're going to put up a poll.
That's insane.
And do you get upset? I mean, you're leading the witness. Do you get upset when it's hard to open a peanut? There's only one?
I do now.
Not really. It doesn't really change my day.
This topic, to meditate on what you're going to bring to the show as a talking point, and it be how many peanuts are inside the peanut shell, is depressing. It's sad that is what you landed on.
This is one of the first things they talked about on Friday morning show.
This makes the episode that I watched seem like Citizen Kane. This is fucking...
Well, Andy, strap in, buddy. It gets worse. They continue talking about these peanuts and why Dan has this affinity for eating peanuts, because it goes back to his childhood.
And at Yankee Stadium, I'm discovering that I can eat peanuts and just throw shells on the floor. That is just look at Roy. What are you rubbing your hands together? You're delighting at the.
No, I'm waiting for the punchline, Dan. You know what it is.
What is the punchline? That I was 46 years old?
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck everyone involved here. I'm so mad at everyone.
So the token black guy has the hockey show, because of course he does. And he just wants Dan to do the obvious joke, and then when he does, he claps. Wee! That's a good joke. Good job, buddy. How many fucking people are on mic on this show? Too many is the answer. Mm-hmm. You might have noticed, whenever I do these shows, I always write down the hosts and the co-hosts, and I read through them to give everyone some context. I have no idea, and I could not be bothered to learn them. I don't give a fuck. Does not matter. So this is that guy when he goes, you can even take a photo of my car, you'll see peanut shells. You notice that guy took his headphones off and ran out. Thank God he did, because then he comes back and this guy has the evidence.
I did just go check out Dan's car. I think we have a photo of it, and I can confirm peanut shells are in that car. Somehow,
First off, this is a very clean floorboard.
Yeah.
I mean, or a seat or whatever that is. And the guy goes, "Wah!" Can you believe that? Yeah, he just said that was there.
There's a lot of two bears, one cave.
Yeah.
Laughing off mic bullshit happening on this.
But he literally said, I was making a mess in my car eating peanuts. And then the guy goes, "Hey, check this out." There's evidence he was making a mess in his car eating peanuts.
Was there an old French fry in there too?
Somehow, not the strangest thing on his car floor. There are 4 huge jugs of distilled water. I don't know what that's about.
Worrisome.
That was actually more strange to me than the peanut shells.
Oh boy, I bet that's a story. It's so fucking dumb. This is not interesting for anyone. The fact that they're like making a big deal out of this. And so then the topic gets opened up. What about other people? I bet you remember things from childhood, things you used to taste when you were a child that bring back fond memories. That's what this whole story is about. Yankee Stadium and eating shelled peanuts for the first time. And so let's go around the room with that topic.
You have stuff that tastes like childhood, stuff that tastes better because it's not just that you're eating something, but you're eating something that comes with memories. Certainly, you guys can answer that question for me. There must be smells for you from childhood cooking that you recognize as well.
Smells for sure. Dunkaroos. Those take me back.
Do any of the rest of you have a childhood meal or childhood food that tastes a little better in adulthood because it's reminding you of something? Peanuts are one of the few. I'm telling you, I probably haven't had cracked shell peanuts in about 40 years.
My God.
It's no way to live, man.
I love that you got nothing for the Dunkaroos. Dad's like, okay, whatever, that was stupid. But so, because I set this up saying I'm familiar with sports talk, and I used to listen to it a lot. What's happening right here is what happens during the All-Star break. Because it's mid-July, there's no sports on, there's nothing to talk about, and they just get off on like, hey, remember eating peanuts at Yankee Stadium? I like Dunkaroos. Cool. This is literally, we're in the middle of football season. Major League Baseball playoffs are starting up next week. We have preseason hockey, preseason basketball. There's so much shit to talk about on a sports show. And this asshole is asking around the room what candy people liked when they were children.
Yeah, he is literally going around the room.
Yeah. Well, and then it goes over to Roy, the hockey guy, and he chimes in with this. And then this is a brutal segue out of this conversation.
My dad's ribs. Those barbecue ribs are awesome. And the smell of charcoal brings me back to eating that.
Let's go ahead and play this sound of Cam Newton here talking about Tua before we get to some of the other stuff going on locally. A lot of people are talking about Tua now.
There you go. The guy's like, I like ribs. Because he asked that question. And then he shuts it down immediately. All right, let's listen to Cam Newton talk about Tua. Right. Sports stuff.
I thought Dan was going to put a recipe up.
Good. Fucking JT is not understanding the show of our show. He says Nestle Crunch was my favorite. That's not what we're doing here, JT. We're not chiming with our favorite foods from childhood.
We're not putting a poll up.
All right, I'll put a poll up.
Nobody even wants to run to the David Tell bit about, cotton candy reminds me of the first time I got laid by the bearded lady.
I still remember the feel of her beard.
Right. It's like nobody could come up with something like that.
No, these people are boring as fuck. They suck so bad. They suck the life out of my morning. I'm still recovering, as you can tell. Andy, cheer me up. What do you got?
I don't think I'm going to cheer you up with what's coming next, because in clip 5, we get introduced to this fucking idiot Zaz. Was he on your episode?
No.
Oh, you're lucky. You got the black guy. He wasn't on my episode. I got this imbecile who is going to be mad about that things are changing with the Dolphins uniforms.
I want to talk about, very briefly, the uniforms that the Dolphins are going to be wearing.
This is for chicks.
Yes.
This is for chicks.
Easily.
When the Bills announced whatever their new uniform is or whatever, the only texts I got about that were from women. Okay.
And I think I said, I hate it. I don't want to talk about it.
Who cares?
On Monday night. Monday night is an apocalypse. The Dolphins and the Jets are playing Monday Night Football, and these uniforms are really good-looking uniforms. They're just not in any way Dolphin uniforms.
It's horrible. I'm embarrassed. I can't believe how negative this office has been on these uniforms. I thought it was going to be a consensus. These look cool. And everybody around here hates these.
They may look cool, but they're not the Dolphins. Like, that's not the Dolphins' colors. That's not their uniform. But on top of it, you know what aggravates me, and maybe some other fans too, is there is a consensus out there of, I would guess to say, 100% of the fan base would like them to wear a specific uniform, and they refuse to go back to it.
Old school one.
And you, of course.
Oh, God. Imagine being this passionate.
Oh, he was outraged.
And the Miami uniforms have always sucked. They've always been hideous.
They're
so
teal.
to long for
They're designed by gay
an
guys.
even gayer version of the uniform is embarrassing. Just shut up. Who cares?
Wouldn't it be an amazing take if you're like, look at, they're 0-3. I hope they show up against the Jets and get this season fucking turned around. That's the take. These are sports talk guys. These are our colors. I don't like it.
Well, we can get into the polling portion of my episode,
Please.
which revolves around the not since soft shell flour versus hard shell corn has such a hot topic been debated about.
Not hard shell corn, Andy. Corn tortillas. Not the fried kind.
Here we
People are
go.
missing the entire argument that I'm making on
Here we
this.
go.
Although
Fanning the flames.
hard shell corn tacos are also superior to flour tortillas.
Yeah, most things are.
Thank you. You were saying, Andy,
Yes,
there's
but-
a big poll going on?
How do you throw a combat knife at the wall?
Oh.
How many throws would it take you to throw a knife at a wall and get it to stick?
A hunting knife, those are sharp.
You're
And
doing
get
it
it to
first try?
stick?
You're doing it first try, Tony?
Yeah, I'm doing it for sure.
Of course.
Chris,
I don't know, man.
you feel like the handle's gonna just hit the wall, and
I'm
then
just like,
You got to throw a blade. You don't throw it by the handle. You throw it by the
hold
blade first. Yeah, you throw it by the blade.
No, that can't be.
That's how you do it. You throw it by the blade first, so it has the rotation.
Yeah, but when you throw an axe, you don't hold the axe by the
Right,
blade.
like what are you talking
It's different though.
I think he might be right. Though.
Really?
Yeah,
I
sure.
think put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. In order to embed a hunting knife in the wall, do you throw it by the blade?
Not a single housewife is going to know the answer to that.
And if you said put that in the poll, I would be like, are you serious? That's what you want the poll to be?
Yeah. Can you just look it up on ChatGPT?
How am I supposed to answer that? Well, shockingly enough, Carl, they do end up looking it up.
Of course.
But this is in clip 7. The great debate continues.
Okay.
There's more surface area on the blade of a knife than there is an axe.
Okay,
and a
but
handle.
where are you getting this knowledge from?
I don't.
It depends the size of the
I think
knife.
he's
also.
right. I think he's right.
Because you
What if you're
believe what he
doing it
says
in
because
a
he just says
hurry?
it with confidence.
What
Dan,
if
this is
you have to do it in a hurry.
this
You're
is a
gonna
matters
have
cheap
to blade
situation.
first side. That's very
The
dangerous.
rotations matter. What if I throw from 3 inches further back? Then that would be like half a rotation, and then the blade, the
But that,
handle
you
would
can
hit.
fix that by throwing it faster.
Well, and this is very important. Do you throw the blade overhand, or is it like you take it on you?
Who does that?
Underhand
Oh,
is
I can do it. I can do that.
You don't have the same juice underhand. You got to go overhand.
That's how you get
with
cut.
juice.
I'll decide how much juice I have.
Underhand?
Yeah, underhand's weak.
No, you can do underhand.
You don't know about that, Dan. You know
Jenny
about that
Finch, what are we
underhand.
doing
I
here?
do like
weak sauce.
kind of like gambit.
That's how you get him.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is sideways.
Yeah, like gambit.
You put your arm up. I don't see what you're doing.
No one throws a knife like a frisbee. That's
Yeah, you can't.
I'm still
diabolical.
throwing my
can't do
blade.
that.
Not like a frisbee. Like gambit throws
That's
playing
like
cards.
a frisbee. What are you throwing?
Nah,
A boomerang?
You're not getting anyone
I could
like
also.
that.
I could
That's
also
what I'm
do it
saying.
Like
Zaz knows.
Like Alex Gonzalez.
I've already stabbed you in the heart.
Hell yeah.
Gonzalez turning 2.
Well, if you throw it, did you stab him?
I got lots of blades in my pocket.
You guys are not noticing. Everyone's talking, and no one's noticing that Zaz is providing a sound effect with his underhand blade throw that kills you while you're talking. You're giving opinions, and he's going left-handed. You're not expecting it in any way.
Animal
We're just watching the show,
Everyone
Andy?
else
What's
is
going
coming
on?
at you overhanded. They're telegraphing what they're doing. He's doing it sneaky style.
But he keeps missing us. That's the problem.
Jesus Christ. All right. Do these guys think they're killing it? When they get done with a segment like that, are they just like, that was a good segment?
This is the best part of this show, by the way. It's going to get worse.
Oh, I know. I have more clips. But producer Chris just deflated. Is there more to this, Andy?
Well, there
'Cause
is.
I have a poll if you want to, unless you're still going.
Why don't you pivot into another topic?
Okay,
because
yeah. Here's another poll that they put
Yeah.
out. I think this is a really important conversation that they're having. Now, they're talking about the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Surprisingly, there was a football game Thursday night they actually watched and talked about for a little bit. Yeah, it's like, oh, I watched that too. Cool. Let's talk about that.
I want to talk about him for a second because I don't believe there's a more stoic coach in the league. Every time they go to a camera angle on him, and the truck is saying this is a situation to go to the Arizona coach to see his reaction. He looks exactly the same way. So put this on the poll, please, Juju, at LeBatard Show. And I'm bummed that Zaz isn't here today because he's been waiting for this question all his life.
Oh, now I have the context of Zaz.
Yeah.
Let's hear the question that Zaz can't wait for.
Dan's in love with Zaz. I feel like he thinks that Zaz is his sense of humor.
Okay.
He needs him there to be funny, and it's just whatever. He sucks. But
At LeBatard Show, would you respect Jonathan Gannon more if he went by John?
So the question is, should a guy named Jonathan go by John? And if he did, would you respect him more? That's a fucking giant waste of time. They were actually talking about a football game that happened that came down to the final drive. There's a nice comeback by Arizona late in the fourth quarter. And they're talking about, don't you think Jonathan should be John? Would you like that better?
yeah. What do you respect more, Johnny, John, or Jonathan?
I swear to God, they get into that exact conversation. Listen to this.
Jonathan, I believe you are a lesser athlete in sports that we will respect less if you go by Jonathan instead of John. If I give you him as John Gannon, you would think that he's got more control over his team.
No doubt. That's an action movie star. I'm building a franchise around John Gannon.
But not Jonathan.
No, Jonathan Gannon. Why does he go by Jonathan?
Yeah, I don't like that.
That is a bad move. You should be worried about this coach just because John Gannon's right there for him.
Yeah.
What about Johnny? Johnny Gannon, fine.
I like
Out of all the
Gannon's
options,
cool.
It's unbelievable. You know what this reminded me of was the MD Foodie Boys.
Yeah.
You know those kids from Maryland who just sit around and talk about how which tacos they like better,
Yeah.
dumb shit like that. Yeah. And like they really analyze it and have like an actual conversation about it, like it's important. Like these assholes are all going, "Yeah, would Johnny be better than Jonathan? Yeah, I think it would be.
Yeah.
Get it on the fucking poll. Let's find out."
At least those kids weren't talking over each other and one off mic going, yeah.
They were talking about a lot of childish shit like these idiots are.
right,
And I can't
no.
imagine that an adult would care about this. But then Dave Damashek works for the NFL Network, used to be a regular on Adam Carolla's show. I'm very familiar with Dave. I think he's funny. But he comes in and he's been paying attention, so he gets in on the action of this name talk.
It's a good question, Daniel. Are we going with Daniel now? We're going full names.
I went
from
with
here on
Danny
out, right?
through college. My byline in college was
And
Danny LeBatard. He's the only one who calls me Danny because that was my byline in college.
Why'd you change it?
To be more mature. Because Billy,
Oh, get out of here.
I didn't
know
change
what?
my name.
I know you remained Billy to be not more mature.
Can I tell you something? I am William David Damashek, and my parents saw fit to go with David. But I contend that, Billy did it exactly right. He's Billy as a grown man now. And when you get into the teen years, you feel like, I want to be more mature. I don't want to be like a grown-up. And so then you go Bill. And that's now things are all out of whack.
Fuck you, Dave Damashek. Fuck you. He works for the NFL Network. He's on there to talk NFL. And he's talking about how he wishes his name was Billy.
They're playing into this.
It's so annoying. And it continues on.
Jim, if it were Jim Kimmel, he would not be a late night host right now. The fact that he is Jimmy is a defining sort of, it colors in who he is before you even see him, right? Jimmy, he's a grown man. He's fun.
Yeah, John Carson, totally different guy.
Look what happened to James Corden.
Holy shit.
I don't even want to watch football.
They have to.
I'm done, dude.
They all have to keep it going for some reason. On top of that, they all feel a need. It's like, just move on. All right. They think they're doing a bit. They think it's funny. Jim Kimmel. Okay. Got it. Anyway, what'd you think about how Arizona came back in the fourth quarter? It looked like they couldn't move the ball, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is out of it. Can we get back into actual sports talk here? And I did win my bet, by the way. I found out my bookie is still paying attention. He just sent me money. I was very happy yesterday morning because I was like, I still work with a bookie, which is weird in 2025. There's no reason to do that, but I like him.
Yeah.
And we can text and Venmo and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's easier for me.
So you fix your Venmo too?
And I've been up. Well, I don't want to talk about that. I've been up for a while and just kind of like whatever, just leaving it there, and then just like sent me a bunch of money. I was like, oh, that's good news. Guy's still paying attention. Thanks. I got to be his only client. right? Everyone's just on DraftKings and shit. I got to be his only client left. Andy, what do you got next?
I have to agree that the more we watch of this, the more it is for women, especially when we get into this final segment of my clip package where they introduce Roz onto the show. Did you have Roz on your episode?
Nope.
Whew, lucky you, because out of all of the people that have ever watched the movie Seven or Big Trouble in Little China that have seen somebody throw a knife, let's ask a woman that has no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
Is this clip 8?
Yes.
How would you throw a hunting knife?
It comes from the stomach. It's a gut thing.
I need you to elaborate, and I need you to explain.
What do you mean by that? Dealer's choice.
You're going with a stabbing. You're doing a stabbing.
She's throwing it straight from the stomach.
I want to embed it in a wall across from me. How do I throw it? How do I hold it? What's the correct
point for the gambit technique?
It's like breathing. You got to breathe out of the stomach, and it's like most athletic motions come out of the knees. And then, like,
I don't
I'm
understand.
following that guy. She's walking us through the whole process.
It's like breathing, Dan. It's like breathing.
Roz is right.
I'm training for life. Look,
it's not coming from the core.
You got to breathe.
You don't throw a hunting knife
No, it's the process starts there.
From the core and the knees. Don't forget to keep your knees bent.
Just say you don't know.
Yeah.
You couldn't be more wrong about everything.
Women don't know that phrase.
My first appearance on the show would be my last, because I'd go, who cares? Yeah. Can I talk about something I'm an expert in? Because that's why I'm on the show.
Fuck you.
Yeah, right. You're cool.
And Roz now goes on to WNBA talk. This is where I realized this is definitely for women, because nobody else out of all the army of people in this room have zero opinions about what she's talking about with the WNBA, specifically Asia Wilson. So she's going on and on about the Asia Wilson's underrated credibility of the WNBA, and it's so boring that they just start showing knife throwing tutorials over her talking.
Interesting. Okay.
Right now, you can argue she's the best player of this generation for sure. Right now, given her resume. Does her notoriety match that? I think Asia's a star. Like, she's got all the things right now. She's got her family. She's got her man, Bam Adebayo. She's got her signature sneaker. She's got a statue. She's got her candle. She's got a book. She's out there.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth.
So
I've never heard the list of accomplishments being a statue and then a candle.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing about stats. No videos of highlights of this person killing it on the court. Oh, she has a boyfriend and a book? Wow.
Yeah, right. Who gives a shit?
And it gets even worse because in clip 12 here, they are so hard-pressed to find something impressive about the WNBA because it's not the gameplay. It's not the fucking points. It's not the turnout of people watching. How big are the people in the WNBA's social media following? And this is where the knife clip comes into.
The list of biggest social media followings, Asia's not in the top 5, I don't believe. I know she's in the top 10, but oftentimes you'll see like the biggest stars in the world often have the biggest followings. Right now, that's being reserved for Angel Reese. By far has the biggest social media following of WNBA players. After that, it's Caitlin Clark. Then it's Paige Becker. So it's this new generation of girls. I think Sabrina Ionescu's right there. Skylar Diggins. They're around like 1 million something. And your Paiges and your Caitlins are around like closer to 3 million or 2.5 or 3. And Angel's up around 5 million.
I hate this fucking show.
Yeah, so if you're just listening, they just have popped in somebody throwing a knife at the wall because it's more interesting than the social media following of people in the WNBA that this woman won't shut the fuck up about.
I mean, who would possibly want to listen to this or watch this? Actually, I was showing the stats before and trying to say, like, oh, there's only 25,000 people watching these shows. That's 25,000 too many.
Yeah.
Are they buying views like Opie? It doesn't even make sense that anyone's watching this shit. What is Dan doing? This is terrible. There's also these commercial breaks. Did this happen during the episode you watch where it just goes silent?
Yeah.
And they just show stills of like merchandise you can buy?
Yep.
It's very awkward. There's not even a music bed or anything.
I was happy because I could scrub further in. I was like, oh, it's not as long as I thought it was. Thank God.
I agree with that. So that happens, and they come out of that, and I think this is a promo for another show on the network. I'm not even sure.
All right, guys, we really need to sell this episode because Dan sees these things.
Yes.
So let's do it.
Yes.
All right, today we talk about my top 10 white sauces of all time.
Good number one.
Fuentes is super happy today.
I am.
So far, Dan's like, yeah, this is gonna be a great episode. Like, I'm really glad we recorded this promo episode.
Tony, you're the kook meter.
The kook meter was rising on the Dark Forest
We
theory.
just talked about Dark Forest hypothesis. It's just an hypothesis, not proven.
Shoe tying? Bunny?
Tony.
Yeah.
I've got the quickest gun in the West when it comes to shoe tying.
I gotta admit,
no one's disturbing.
Yeah, but
what?
No one's disturbing.
No one's debating that. I don't know.
Disturbing?
No, that was it.
He was thinking about the white sauce.
Sorry, Dan.
Skinner, what is going on here?
I have no idea what anyone is talking about. This just comes out of nowhere. There's no context for it. What you saw is what I saw. And am I supposed to go watch these losers?
Yeah.
Why are there so many of them? Does anyone have a point or an interesting thing to say?
Who were those women that showed up, and how is there even 10 white sauces that are your favorite? Why are the top 5 cum? What are you talking about, dude?
It was so stupid. They're all trying to get their non-sequiturs in. So I didn't understand what that was all about. And then at a certain point, Dan LeBatard's dad shows up, and they just have a camera on him in the kitchen, and he's making coffee, and then he's talking about him later on.
Joe, I don't know why my father just simply refused to come in here and is now having coffee in the other room with Frankie. I don't know. He just does whatever he wants to. I've never been able to control him.
Which one's his dad?
I really hope they're losing a ton of money on this production, because if this is profitable, that's insane.
I do recognize this guy now. And as somebody that's not watching a lot of sports talk, wasn't he on that round table around the horn thing with this guy?
That's not what he's known for, but it's possible. Possible he was on Around the Horn a few times. Yeah, actually, no, Dan LeBatard was definitely on Around the Horn. Yeah. He was one of the guys that would go on there, because they had rotating.
And he would truck out his dad.
Oh, he would?
Yeah, that's
his thing?
That's why I remembered that, because I remember this old fuck. They insist on showing.
Let's wrap things up, Andy. What else you got on here?
I think clip 13 is that one where Dan melts down over the fucking knife throwing talk. It finally goes too far.
Yeah, all right.
I told him to give us some juice.
Don't do this to Pat Riley. Oh, my God. What
Dick again.
What are you
Throw it by the blade.
Stop.
Throw it by the blade. Dan,
No, please stop.
Dan,
Hit him in
I don't
the
want to do
dick
this, Dan.
twice. Look, there's 2 marks. I don't know why I keep getting them there.
This is dangerous.
This guy's
can
throwing
stop doing that
scissors.
at any point.
Stop this.
Yes,
Someone should stop this.
Let's. You mentioned that. Let's stop it right now. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to get to Ray Hudson. I'd like some people to produce our show, please. Get toward the microphones. Get toward the places where you can help me do a show. Stop being children.
Is the problem because it's Pat Riley? Because we can make a Richard Gere.
Please allow me to.
No,
do
that's actually a lot
something,
better. Thank you.
That hosts the show that isn't monkeys throwing feces the entire time. Thank you. You guys are so busy with your self-consumption that you didn't even hear Zaslow's Crocodile Dundee impersonation.
I was pissed because I was going to do that.
Not a
to
one of you.
mine.
Not a one of you heard.
It was good, right?
I was pissed off because everyone had plastic knives. I was going, that's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's not a knife. There's a knife.
Finally, Dan just said what I was thinking. And then he stopped by saying, guys, listen to Zaz. He's hilarious. So that ruined all of that. But finally, he's just like, you guys are acting like children. Can we get on the microphones and do a fucking show? They got so excited. They're all throwing things. Hey, look at us. We're playing.
Yeah. It did look like 4 kids at home, and then mom comes home early from work, and they're like, oh, we're not supposed to be throwing kitchen knives into the wall?
How's the chores list doing, boys? The fuck?
Dan's flipping the lights on and off.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Podcast.